August 15th, Nehemiah 9:22 through 10:23. Moreover, you gave them kingdoms and nations, and divided them into districts. So they took possession of the land of Shihon, the land of the king of Heshbon, the land of Og, king of Bashan. And you also multiplied their children as the stars in the heaven, and brought them into the land which you told their fathers to go in and possess. So the people went in and possessed the land. You subdued before them the inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites, who gave them and gave them into their hands with their kings and the people of the land, that they might do with them as they wished. And they took strong cities a, and a rich land, and possessed houses full of goods, cisterns already dug, vineyards, olive gardens, and fruit trees in abundance. So they ate and were filled and grew fat, and delighted themselves in your great goodness. Nevertheless, they were disobedient and rebelled against you, cast your law behind their back, and killed your prophets who testified against them, to turn them to yourself. And they worked great provocations. Therefore you delivered them into the hand of their enemies, who oppressed them. And in the time of their trouble, when they cried to you, you heard from heaven, and according to your abundant mercies, you gave them deliverers who saved them from the hand of their enemies. But after that, but after they had rest, they again did evil before you. Therefore, you left them in the hand of their enemies, so that they had dominion over them. Yet when they returned and cried out to you, you heard from heaven, and many times you delivered them according to your mercy, and testified against them, that you might bring them back to your law. Yet they acted proudly and did not heed your commandments, but sinned against your judgments, which if a man does, he shall live by them. And they shrugged their shoulders, stiffened their necks, and would not hear. Yet for many years you had patience with them, and testified against them by your spirit in the prophets. Yet they would not listen. Therefore you gave them into the hand of the peoples of the land. Nevertheless, in your great mercy, you did not utterly consume them or nor forsake them. For you are God, gracious and merciful. Now, therefore, our God, the great and mighty and awesome God, who keeps covenant and mercy, do not let all the trouble seem small before you that has come upon us, our kings and our princes, our priests and our prophets, our fathers, and on all your people, from the days of the kings of Assyria until this day. However, you are just in all that has befallen us, for you have dealt faithfully, but we have done wickedly. Neither our kings nor our princes, our priests nor our fathers have kept your law, nor heeded your commandments and your testimonies, with which you testified against them. For they have not served you in their kingdom, or in many good things that you gave them, or in the large and rich land which you set before them, nor did they return from their wicked works. Here we are servants today, and the land that you gave to our fathers, to eat of its fruit and its bounty. Here we are servants and all, and it yields much increase to the kings. You have set over us because of our sins. Also, they have dominion over our bodies and our cattle at their pleasure, and we are in great distress. And because of all this, we make a sure covenant and write it. Our leaders, our Levites, and our priests seal it. Now those who placed their seal on the document were Nehemiah the governor, the son of Halakah, and Zechariah, Zariah, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Pashar, Amar, Malachi, Hashush, Shadaviah, Malak, Param, Marath, Obadiah, Daniel, Shittim, Barak, Meshullam, Abaliah, Bezan, Bezaiah, Begai, and Shemaiah. These were the priests. The Levites, Yeshua son of Asamai, Benai, sons and the heads of Hadai and Kidamah. Their brethren, Shabai, Hadai, Kadai, Padai, Haman, Hijai, Roam, Hasabai, Zakur, Sibai, Shibadai, Hodai, Benai, and Benayu. The leaders of the people, Parosh, Padas, Moab, Elam, Zetu, Benai, Buni, Azad, Bidai, Asha, Bivai, Adan, Adar, Hezekiah, Hazar, Padiah, Hisham, Baziah, Petram, Adiah, Nebai, Shemai, Pechiah, Musalim, Hazar, Misabel, Zashat, Zadok, Jadu, Jaddua, Adua, Pelaim, Hanan, Asai, Hosea, Ananiah, Hazab, Hasaniah, Benai, Shabai, Ramon, Eshaban, Messiah, Anasiah, Haziah, Hanai, Anna, Malach, Aram, and Benani. Oh, man, I butchered all those. Now the rest of the people, the priests, the Levites, the gatekeepers, the singers, the Nephilim, and all those who had separated themselves from the people of the lands to the law of God, their wives, their sons, their daughters, everyone who had knowledge and understanding, those joined with their brethren, their nobles, and entered into a curse and an oath to walk with God's law, which was given by Moses, a servant of God, and to observe all the commandments of the Lord our God, our Lord, and his ordinance and his statutes, and would not give our daughters as wives to the people of the land, nor take their daughters as for our sons. If the peoples of the land brought wares or any grain to sell on Sabbath day, we would not buy them from them on the Sabbath or on a holy day, and we would not forego the seventh year's produce and the exacting of every debt. Also, we made ordinances for ourselves to exact from ourselves yearly 1/3 of shekel for the service of the house of God, and for the showbread and the regular grain offering, for the regular burnt offering, and for the Sabbaths, the new moons, and set feet for the holy things, for the sin offerings, to make atonement for Israel, and all the work of the house of our God. We cast lots among the priests, the Levites, and the people for bringing the wood offering into the house of the God, house of our God, according to the fathers' houses, at the appointed times year by year, to burn on the altar of the Lord our God, as it is written in the law. And we made ordinances to bring the first fruits of our ground and the first fruits of the fruit of all trees year by year to the house of the Lord, to bring the firstborn of our sons and our cattle, as is written in the law, and the firstborn of our herds and our flocks to the house of the God, to the priests who minister in the house of our God, to bring the first fruits of our dough, our offerings, the fruit of all kinds of trees, the new wine and oil to the priests, to the storerooms of the house of our God, and to bring the tithes of our land to the Levites. For the Levites should receive the tithes of all of our farming communities. And the priests and the descendants of Aaron shall be with the Levites, and with the Levites receive tithe. And the Levites shall bring up 1/10 of the tithe to the house of God, to the room of the storehouse. For the children of Israel and the children of Levi shall bring the offerings of grain and new wine to the oil to the storerooms where articles of the sanctuary are with the priests who minister, and the gatekeepers and the singers are, and we will not neglect the house of our God. 1 Corinthians 9:19 through 10:13. For though I am free from all men, I have made myself a servant to all, that I might win the more. And to the Jews I became a Jew, that I might win Jews. To those who are under the law, as under the law, that I might win those who are under the law. To those who are without the law, as without the law, not being without the law towards God, but under law towards Christ, that I might win those who are without the law. To the weak I became as weak, that I might win the weak. I have become all things to all men, that I might by all means save some. Now this I do for the gospel's sake, that I may be partaker of it with you. Do you not know that those who run the race all run, but one receives the prize? Run in such a way that you may obtain it. And everyone who competes for the prize is temperature in all things. Now they do it to obtain a perishable crown, but we for an imperishable crown. Therefore I run thus, not with uncertainty. Thus I fight, as not as one who beats the air, but I discipline my body and bring it to subjection, lest when I have preached to others, I myself should become disqualified. Moreover, brethren, I do not want you to be unaware that all of our fathers were under the cloud, all passed through the sea, all were baptized into Moses in the cloud and the sea, all ate the same spiritual food and drank the same spiritual drink, for they drank of the spiritual rock that followed them, and the rock was Christ. But with most of them God was not well pleased, for their bodies were scattered in the wilderness. Now these things become our examples, to the intent that we should not lust after evil things as they also lusted. And do not become idolaters, as some of them were, as is written, the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play. Nor let us commit sexual immorality, as some of them did, and in one day 23,000 fell. Nor let us tempt Christ, as some of them also tempted, and were destroyed by serpents. Nor complain, as some of them complained and were destroyed by the destroyer. Now all of these things happen to them as examples, and they are written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the ages have come. Therefore, let him who thinks he stands take heed lest he fall. No temptation has overtaken you except such as common to man. But God is faithful, who will not allow you to be tempted beyond what you are able, but with the temptation will also make a way of escape that you may be able to bear it. Psalms 34, 1 through 10. A psalm of David when he pretended madness before Abimelech, who drove him away, and he departed. I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. My soul shall make its boast in the Lord. The humble shall hear of it and be glad. Oh, magnify the Lord with me, and let us exalt his name forever together. I sought the Lord, and he heard me, and he delivered me from all my fears. They looked to him and were radiant, and their faces were not ashamed. This poor man cried out, and the Lord heard him and saved him out of all of his troubles. The angel of the Lord encamps all around those who fear him and delivers them. Oh, taste and see the Lord is good. Blessed is a man who trusts in him. Oh, fear the Lord, you saints. There is no want in those who fear him. Young lions lack and suffer hunger, but those who seek the Lord shall not lack any good thing. Proverbs 21:13. Whoever shuts his ears to the cry of the poor will also cry himself and not be heard. Okay. We'll see y'all tomorrow.